Welcome to second episode of Q10, and I have with me Mr. Gopalkrishna Vishwanathan, popularly known as GB. Hi sir.
Hello.
He is a former structural engineer and one of the most loved elderly Quoran. And to start with, how do you introduce yourself?
Can I take a minute? Okay. Hello everyone. My name is Gopalkrishna Vishwanath. Actually, my name is Vishwanath. Gopalkrishna Vishwanath happens to be the full name. Gopalkrishna, in fact, is my father's name. And a lot of people know me as Gopalkrishna, but I would like to take this opportunity to clarify that my real name is Vishwanath. I had my schooling in Bombay. I had my education in Rajasthan and UP. And I am basically a structural engineer by profession. I used to be a structural engineer by profession. And I worked for 28 years in a public sector undertaking. Throughout this career, I was involved in the design of industrial buildings. I then quit and started a company of my own and ran it for about 10 years before I sold it and retired in 2011. Nowadays, I spend it peacefully leading a retired life with my wife. My children are settled abroad, and I spend my time reading, music, going out for walks, and on internet browsing. And most of my time is nowadays spent on Quora. So then more, a bit louder, okay.
Next, coming to this thing, the Q10, we
Okay.
have to answer it in one line.
Okay.
Do you believe in life after death?
Yes, I do, but I cannot prove it to anybody.
Which one would you prefer? A love marriage or an arranged marriage if you have another life ahead?
I want to be happily married to a good woman. I don't care if it's a love marriage or an arranged marriage.
That's a great one. Which life do you like in general? Life of 80s or present one? Considering everything.
Considering everything, present life.
Okay.
It's far superior to what it was in the 80s. Of course, I have nostalgic memories of my life in the 80s. I wasn't unhappy, it was great. But today's life is definitely better. The
You mean
convenience-
technological?
Technologically wise, everywhere, convenience wise, in every respect, today's life is better than it was. And I'm quite sure that the life in the 80s was better than the life in the 60s, and so on.
Do you think something like generation gap exists predominantly in our society?
Yes, it has always existed. It's a fact of life. Those who are 80 will not think like those who are in their 50s, and they will not think like those who are in their 20s. So we are now 60 and 70. You will be 60 and 70 and 30 or 40 years in. You will also start thinking in a different way. Maybe not like us, but you may start thinking in a way different from the generation which is 20 at that time. So it's nothing to be, surprised about. It's natural, perfectly natural.
So do you think like they should accept it?
They should accept it. It is a fact of life. There will be a generation gap. My parents did not think the way I thought. My children are thinking in a different way. I am cool with that.
Do you think a diabetic person should have enough sweet as he or she wishes? Or in other way, if I say, do you think happiness or satisfaction is more important than health?
Both are equally important. You cannot be happy if you don't have health. So, a diabetic person must not eat sweets if the doctor has forbidden him. Because if he is going to eat sweets, he is going to fall sick again, and that won't keep him happy. So, both are required. I can't say that one is more important than the other.
The needle where it
No, it has to be exactly in the middle.
Exactly.
Yes, you have to be happy and you have to be healthy also.
any friend of yours in student age whom you expected would have been famous when he or she grows up but didn't, if any reasons are you know any reasons for it?
It's making me a little sad. I had a friend called Vasant in my engineering days. That fellow was street smart, outstanding, brilliant, talented, and budding politician. He had strong convictions, political views, and he would engage me in debates and demolish me completely. I knew that this man would go far. He had told me that engineering was just to give him a degree, but he was going to become enter politics and social life. I am sure that if he had been alive today, he would have been a very senior party functionary in the BJP. Unfortunately, he died a few years after graduation. I have not got over that shock. He would have been a great man, definitely.
Are you a Modi Bhakt? Bhakt?
No.
No.
I am a Modi supporter, a very vocal supporter. That's because Modi is better than everybody else that I see. Or you name the politicians, Modi is better. So I am his vocal supporter. I just pretend to be a Bhakt just to have some fun. I am not a person who is going to keep a picture of Modi and say Namo Namaha, toss flowers at heart. Sorry. That's just
Bhakt in terms they are saying that believing him.
No, not at all. If he makes mistakes, don't worry, I'll be the first to criticize him.
Do you feel our education system makes us employable?
Depends on the subject that you study. Some subjects definitely make you employable. Some subjects do not make you employable. You have to learn what your livelihood, whatever you need to know for your livelihood, you have to earn it on the job. Your education just gives you a foundation or a background. And I think even most universities are aware of it. They can't teach you exactly what you need to know in your job because they don't know what job you're going to go into. You may be studying civil engineering and finally enter banking or do something else. How does your college know about it? So, yeah, they have a standard syllabus and they prepare you for it. You choose, it's up to you to choose your correct subject. So in case you have chosen a subject and you're working somewhere else, it's the university and the professors are not fault. So, and besides, many cases, you need not have an education to be employable. Education just makes you a good man, gives you knowledge, prepares you for life. Later on, you can be employed in something entirely different. So but there are some trades, okay, where education directly prepares you for your employment. Some do not, but everything gives you a nice foundation in life, which is all that is needed.
Specifically, civil engineering.
Civil engineering also is so vast. So many people study civil engineering. I also study civil engineering. 90% of my knowledge I don't use at all. I am a structural engineer now. I have specialized. I don't do anything about water supply, foundations, tunneling, dams, nothing. I don't. In fact, I even forgotten those subjects. All I did was design of steel structures for industrial buildings and commercial buildings throughout my life. I'm quite happy.
So you later on came to know about the
yes. In fact, I learned only the basics of structural steel design and analysis in college. Whatever I know and whatever I needed to know for my profession, I have learned only on the job.
And only this much is required, or you
I could have learned more. I could have expanded my scope to other kinds of structures. But I am satisfied with what I have.
Having traveled all over India, do you feel caste-based riots prevail? And if
they are very rare. Caste-based riots are very rare. It is communal riots which have taken place, and they are more frequent than caste-based riots. Count the caste-based riots in the last few years. I can't even remember.
Even intolerance, we can't feel it anywhere.
We cannot feel it.
That is what.
Not at all. In fact, I don't see there is any reason for anybody. Exactly. Today, the lower castes are ruling everywhere. They have got the power. The democracy has given the power of the vote. So when whoever is in the majority rules. So I don't think there is any caste-based riot. There may be rare in some villages, but I'm quite sure that the reason for the riot was not solely due to caste. There must have been some other provocation. Afterwards, caste gets projected.
Yeah.
Okay, that is my belief.
Because that involves too many.
Exactly. In that respect, definitely we are far better off today than we were a few decades earlier.
Do you feel there is a requirement of a national language in India which mandatorily every literate should be proficient in? Because as you know, many of the languages
this language is a thorny issue. No, I don't believe we need a national language. It would be desirable to have a national language. If we had it, nice, it would be convenient. But you can't force that on anybody. We don't have a national dress. I wear a pant and a shirt, somebody wears a dhoti, somebody wears a veshti. Do we have a national dress?
No.
Do we have national music? We have all kinds of music. Do we have national food? North Indian food, South Indian food, East food. When we don't have a national religion, we are equally comfortable with all the religions of the land. Why should we have a national language?
Because what I feel is to address the voters, I think only 70% of the voters the real person can be reached.
Voting is done region wise. You speak in the language of that region. You don't need to know
But
Hindi. You don't need to know Hindi to go and address a voter in Tamil Nadu or in Kerala. So there is no need for a national language. Let there be opportunities for anyone, all languages. Let them flourish. Let them be given equal opportunity. Don't force anybody. In fact, I don't believe we have a national language problem at all. It is just created by politicians. So finally, in a brief one-line answer is, we don't need a national language. We can have one. It would be convenient if we had, but it should be with the concurrence of everybody.
Not mandatory.
Not mandatory. Certainly not mandatory.
That's it with the Q10. Now going to the last stage where you can elaborate anything. Happiest moment in your life?
I wrote a very detailed answer on Quora about a year ago. I think it was titled, "What are the moments in your life you wish to repeat?" I think that answer was my most viewed answer. It had, when I last saw, it had more than 800k views and it had more than 40k uploads. I think I will just give reference to that answer. Those were those moments. If anybody is interested, they can message me. I will send them the link to that answer. And my thoughts remain the same.
Okay. Scope of civil engineering in the coming years?
Civil engineering is too basic not to have scope. Who doesn't need a house? Who doesn't need food? Who doesn't need shelter? Who doesn't need a road? See, for all the glamour of IT and software, remember three things: mechanical, electrical, civil. These three subjects are our backbone. They are fundamental. There will never be a time when there is no scope for these three subjects. There may be more scope, there may be less scope. Some trades may pay more, some trades may pay less. That depends upon the economic conditions of that country and so many other factors. But I don't envisage any time in future where civil engineering or mechanical engineering or electrical engineering does not have scope.
Okay, there is no term called scope for...
No, not at all. It will be more or less, but it will always be there.
Any advice to the present generation civil engineers if you go with your experiences?
Okay. Listen, civil engineers, they have a grievance. They feel that their job is not fancied, the trade is not being fancied, nobody is opting for it. They say we study hard, we do hard work, we work in sites, and we are not paid half the amount that the software guys are being paid. They have this as a grievance. My advice to them is, stop thinking like that. That position is only initially in your profession. As you grow older, remember this, unlike software and unlike high tech, with each layer, with each passing year in your profession, a civil engineer, a lawyer, a doctor, they build layers and layers of experience. As you grow older, you become better and better and better. Unlike the software guys, who when they reach 40, they are threatened by those who are in their 20s. They have to continuously update their knowledge, and after some time, they just give up. Family pressures, health. A civil engineer doesn't face this thing. A lawyer doesn't face this danger. A doctor doesn't face this thing. They get better and better and better. So, in case you are paid a little less, remember it's just due to the economic conditions and the demand and supply position at that point of time. And remember this, nobody forced you to be a civil engineer. You chose it. Okay? Now, once you chose it, maybe you got it because you couldn't get something else. But having taken it up, take it seriously. Don't neglect it. Don't say and don't crib and whine, I got only civil engineering. Oh, I should have got that one. No. Once you have moved in and you have reconciled, study hard, become good, come out as a civil engineer. Afterwards, it's up to you. If you want to be a civil engineer, continue in the profession. If you don't want, remember this, the majority of people who graduate from colleges, except for perhaps doctors, most of them don't end up doing what they studied. Their profession is something else. In India in particularly. So just in case you happen to graduate in civil engineering, you don't have to be a civil engineer if you don't want to be. In fact, 60 of us joined in BITS Pilani in 1967 when I enrolled for civil engineering. Only 36 graduated. The others just dropped out. They either moved to other branches or they discontinued their studies. And out of the 36, hardly 6 or 7 really became civil engineers. All the others are doing far, far better. They ran businesses, they became petrol pump owners, they set up factories, they did all
That's
kinds
an
of
inspiration
things.
to
Yeah,
do.
that's an inspiration. That civil engineering was just giving them. In fact, one of them admitted to me saying that his civil engineering degree only got him a good wife. Because otherwise his wife wouldn't have married him. But he's perfectly happy and he's doing quite well. So just because you're a civil engineer, don't worry. You can be a good and successful person. In fact, a lot of great people are civil engineers. So just cheer up, put up with your studies, study well, and in fact, it's a wonderful subject. It's plain common sense. Okay? You don't have too much of maths. Just be good at drawing. That's very, very important. You should learn to read and interpret a drawing. You don't have to draw. There are people to draw it for you. There is AutoCAD. There's so much of other software. But at least you must learn to understand and draw. And learn the basics. It will always be good for you. And remember, as long as housing is important, civil engineering will be important. So I would suggest take it up seriously and then do your course and complete it successfully.
Now, an interesting question. Advice or suggestions to your co-viewers to accommodate new generation ideology. Co-viewers, if you can.
I know, co-evals, you taught me this new word. It means contemporaries, my peers, etc. Okay. Please be like me. Think about the next generation. Don't, live in the past. Don't whine and complain. Nothing is going to come out of it. Your complaints are not going to be addressed by your whining and complaining. Yes, I know prices were less once upon a time. I know interest rates were high. I know you are healthier. You have to live with aches and pains. At this age, you will have it. And let us be happy at least that we are not bedridden. As long as I am not bedridden, I am quite happy. I have some peers who half the time spend their time simply whining and complaining instead of sort of living with the situation and enjoying. And then best is don't expect the younger generation to be like you and to think like you. Allow them. And if you might find it consoling to know that when that present younger generation becomes old, they will have a similar problem with the future. So don't worry. Just as when you were young, I am quite sure your parents
should not regret.
Don't regret it. Just live your life and move along in the chain. The series will continue to move. That is my advice. That's what I do. In fact, my reason for being on Quora is that being with the younger generation helps me forget exactly and then stay current and remain happy.
Common and mostly seen weakness in your generation of maybe 70s, 80s.
Mostly seen common way is health. That's all. We are all 60s, 70s. We are not as strong as you.
No, at that time when you were young and all.
When we were young,
like we have lots of weaknesses now presently, but at that time.
No, I think probably the weaknesses here are more because the distractions now are just too many. The internet, movies, we did not have these distractions. We had just books. At the most, our parents, what was considered weakness for us was smoking. Okay? Today, I am finding that youngsters are not smoking as much. That was a weakness. At the age of 18, many of my peers, in order to feel grown up and to belong, they took up smoking. They felt they were in a hurry to be called grown up. So till then when they were being treated as teenagers and kids, suddenly one fine day they rebel and pick up a cigarette and smoke just to show that they are adult. So that was one weakness that we had at that time. And then the other weakness I can't. In fact, it was a strength. We were much better in calculating. We were much better in mental faculties because the calculator did not exist.
So the technology and development has created a lot of weaknesses.
Technology has weakened you. I know. We were better in memorizing. We were better at languages. Yeah, language. Yes, that's a major difference. Youngsters don't know their own language, their own mother tongue. We were much better at using language than the present generation is.
That's it. Thank you so much.
Welcome. Thank you very much.